Okay.
All right. Okay. You guys can hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Loud and clear.
For those, okay. For those who just joined us, thank you. Hold on. My screen. This messes me up. I'm trying to share my screen that I lost. Oh man, bear with me, guys. I'm not that savvy here. I can't find my screen. I'm trying to share.
You're doing fine.
Bev, try the escape button on the left-hand side on the top. Press escape. See if that it works. You see it?
Okay, let me try. Nope.
Technology. That's all it is. Just a distraction sometimes.
Yeah.
We want one of the DJs to just play a song while you get ready.
Yeah, please. Thank you. Yes. Who's got it? Who got the music? I'm sorry, you guys. That's what happens.
DJ Strictly Nice. Can you play something for us? You're
They're probably
muted. I
not
can't hear
prepared.
you.
They're probably not prepared.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking about music. I grew up like, in the 60s. I'm a 60s girl. And my mom grew up in the 50s. So I remember hearing, and my mom, she look at Beverly's face. It's like you take my mom's face, you put it on Beverly. You don't know the difference between the two of them. I'm going to show you guys a picture so that you don't think I'm just making this up. And I remember my mom used to be waltzing in the house to songs from the 50s about being in love and caring for your woman and caring for your children. And compared to the songs that I grew up with, I feel almost sorry for my children and the music they heard when they were growing up.
Okay. I think I got it now. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I always like to share the rules. This is the uncomfortable conversation. Everything is not for everyone. However, you're expected to be respectful of others' opinion because it's just that. Also, be mindful of our tone, no insults. If you don't agree with someone, please don't interrupt while others are speaking. And for the most part, our audience would have 2 minutes to speak. I have my little bell here that if you go over time, you'll hear my little bell. Unfortunately, my moderator is not here tonight. And these are our DJ for tonight, DJ JJ, Master DJ,
Who was that
and
good-looking guy?
DJ Strictly Noise. I'm sorry.
He
He's
asked who's
got a
that good
beard.
looking
He doesn't
guy.
have a beard. Look at that guy.
He
I
looks
gotta
like
shave. I have to shave.
that.
Wow.
No, you look good like that.
Ooh,
It's
thank you.
I'm gonna tell you like they tell me, it's wisdom.
Yeah, it's wisdom.
Wisdom. Okay. Um, and
Look at Strictly Noise. I like Strictly Noise too. Look
He's
at that
based in New
down there.
Jersey.
There he is.
okay, I'm gonna introduce him. Okay, so I always like to share that. So I'm back. Um, First, I'd like to, for those of you who know me, like I go off at times off script, but this past weekend I attended a summit, and it was very enlightening to me. And oh, before I say that, let me say we are celebrating Black History Month, but also this is the 48th celebration of my Spice Island independence. So it's been 48 years since Grenada got the independence from the oppressors. Just thought I'd mention that.
Okay.
Amen.
Um,
Good to know
yeah,
that.
still feel like we've been oppressed, but every progress is progress, right?
Yep.
Um, okay, so for those of you guys who coming on, share, 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 share. I need as much people on here. Um, Back to the subject. So it was called Healing with Him, and it was about Black women acknowledging the pain and the dehumanizing of our Black men. And I'm sharing that because it's Black History Month. And how, the trauma. What was touching to me is that when I saw Black men on there in tears about the pain that they have suffered during slavery, being separated from their wife, their women, and a lot of people are going to say that women went through the same thing and they didn't support us, but right now that's irrelevant to me, because if you were there and you understand and you saw the tears, the pain, and some of them came up with the reason why they're doing what they're doing today. Okay, so I don't want to get too much into all, and the children, yes, um and why Black men cannot have a fruitful, successful relationship because of all the things that they've been going through that they weren't able to talk about. There was guys on there who were saying that they've been molested at the age of 3. They got married. Marriage didn't work because of the suppression of the relationship. And yes, women, we go through a lot too. So I just want to share this. I'm not going to do the whole video of how she came about to this whole men healing with men, or that we should join with them. So let me just share this.
So sorry.
Can you hear it?
I am so sorry, Black man.
Can you guys hear it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Bev, we could hear it, but we can't see it.
Okay. All right. Let me.
Share your screen.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Set up, lied on. I didn't know. And I want you to know that I apologize. I privileged my pain over yours. I did that. And there's no real excuse, but there is an explanation. Okay? As a Black woman in North America, because that's where I live, I've been taught how to relate to you through white supremacy. And I never gave you the benefit of the doubt. I just took the images, the stuff that I heard my mama say, what when wounded women were talking about you, and then I had bad experiences with Black men. I painted you all the same way that the cops paint you, and I'm wrong for that. Now, I am apologizing to you in two ways. One, as a black woman. Two, as a human being. Because what was taken from you was your humanity. Ever since slavery, ever since Nat Turner, ever since 1830, you have been criminalized. You have been positioned and targeted from kindergarten. By the time you're in the third grade, you're already set up to go to prison. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that they blocked you out of every type of trade so you couldn't make money for your family. I didn't know. I didn't know that the whole structure of what it means to be American is built upon your free labor for white structures, including the penal system. That you were designed to be the workforce for whiteness since you got here. And I didn't know that. And what's worse is I didn't look. I was so hurt by you that I justified my righteous indignation because I was hurt. And I didn't look why you would hurt me. It never crossed my mind that you were hurt too. It, I don't even know how come well, actually I do, because you've been positioned as a criminal and as an animal, so I'm not even going to see you as a human being. I'm going to see you like they teach me to see you. And I fell for it. And I didn't look it up. I didn't look for the research. I didn't care. I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, and I'm guilty of that. I did that to you. I didn't ask why you hurt me. I just was hurt. And I didn't look. I didn't see how you've been cornered. Every way. I mean, every way, every decade, from chain gangs to hip hop. You're always getting blamed for violence, but we never talk about the record labels. We never talk about distribution. We always talk about the artists. We always talk about the black men being violent. Well, you don't get to choose what gets on air. You don't get to choose what you get to sign. If you don't do it the way that they say to do it, then you don't eat. You can't. And we make it sound like it's a character flaw when it's a structural, systematic way of keeping you in bondage. And I'm sorry for that. Because if I say I love you, how come I didn't look? How come it didn't even dawn on me? I didn't even think that you could be hurt. I so focused on my pain and all the ugly I had experienced at your hand that I didn't even think, well, hell, how did you get there? And I can say it now on the other side of healing. You see what I'm saying? I can say it now, but I couldn't say it when you needed it. When you needed me to believe you and not them. When you needed a safe space, just someone to hear you out. I didn't listen. So I wanted to punish you. I wanted you to feel how you made me feel. I wanted you to feel the level of hurt and resentment and helplessness, never understanding that is why you lashed out. Anything that's cornered will strike. Anything that's trapped will fight. It's just it's human nature. And I so related to you the way white people have taught me to relate to you. I didn't even look. I didn't ask. I just sided with them. And I turned you into the enemy. And I was wrong. I was wrong. And I apologize. Now, you don't have to accept my apology. Okay? You don't have to. It's not required. Okay? And in truth, shit, I'm not even certain you should, given the fact that it took me 400 years to look the fuck back. You know what I'm saying? But what I want you to know is this. As a black woman, as a human being, I know what it feels like to be betrayed, to be lied on, to be beat, to be assaulted. I know what it's like. I just never imagined it happening to you. In my mind, I never saw you as a person. I saw you as an idea. I saw you as a threat. I saw you as the pictures on television. I saw you as, I just saw you the way they taught me to see you. And it served me. It let me let you be the scapegoat for my failings. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not scapegoating on you anymore, black man. I'm not. And I know there are a lot of black women who are wounded. And there's a lot of us who have healed. So I'm on behalf of those of us who have healed, who are willing to be accountable for our power, I apologize. And I want you to know that I forgive you. You didn't ask for this. You don't have to deal with this. Okay? But I forgive you. And some people won't get this, some people will. But for the ones who get it, please know that you really are amazing. That you would make it this far with no support, no help, no one on your side, no one in your corner, none of that. And you're still here and you still love me, even though I've turned my back on you. That's love. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what you've done. As a black man, you never left me. And I blamed you when my father went away. I thought, if my father loved me, why would he leave me? Well, he's the same man who kept me alive when my mother wanted to abort me. So which one is more valuable? My life or my unfulfilled expectation of what you should or should not do? Never mind what you're dealing with. Never mind what you're going through. Never mind your trauma. Never mind your pain. Oh, fuck that. That doesn't count for me. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I'm dealing with is the level at which I have disappeared your humanity, the level of benefit I've gotten because I'm a girl. They wouldn't. I could go to school. I can get the. I could. They didn't put me in the prison pipeline. They put me in reading classes because I'm not a threat. Because I'm not a dude. You see what I'm saying? But as a black woman, I got things that you could never get because I'm a girl. And yet, and still, I'm relating to you like the ground is even. Is even. It's never been fucking even. It's never been even. The fact that you are a man and you learn masculinity through white shit, through watching white motherfuckers do some bullshit, and that's how you learned masculinity. Your father wasn't home. They took his ass to the chain gang. They would pick up black men and throw them in prison. We thought black men left. We were wrong. They got took. But you wouldn't know that because it's not in the history books. You got to find that. You got to look for that. They don't talk about how black men are systematically put in prison to become firefighters for forest fires, but when they leave, they can't get that job. But you can die for the state. They don't talk about how welfare was built in the 70s so that black women could get money if you weren't in the household to punish you for not being married to her as a moralistic argument. But we don't know that because that's not in the books. No one teaches us that. So what we listen to are the other hurt black women who talk about black men, and we listen to it like it's the truth. And then we see it on TV, and then we relate to you like it's who you are. And you become it because our power as black women manifests. We give life and we take it. We take it. The moment we take our love away, we hurt you to punish you for being as wounded as we are.
That's thoughts. That was powerful. Everybody's muted. So
Yeah.
it makes me view things, men, differently. And that's taken away from us. We are wounded, but I think we have the ability as women to bounce back quicker than men because the system, of course, is designed that way. Um, how is that related to music? Just listen to the way the comparison that she made, how we are judged based on the music. So while I have my DJs on here, I just wanted to share that, but I wanted them to talk about the music then and now and how it influences our behavior today. I think Mr. Coward is on. He's going to just give us a little old music. Carmen, you're muted, so you can't hear. I can't hear you. You muted.
Sorry, I muted
Okay.
him. Let me
Oh,
let, let
okay.
me ask him to unmute.
Okay. Um,
Is there anyone that could relate to anything she was saying? Thoughts while the music comes on?
yeah, I want to hear from you guys because it was all about you.
Yeah, I will start with as a divorcee and how my ex would talk about earning more and what I wasn't doing as time went on. Start going to church at different times, relating to the kids, the son, and the daughter, how when she gets upset and frustrated in certain things, and how she would say, and it was like a broad paintbrush. This is why we can't get a certain status because of what you're not doing, what you men aren't doing. So that kind of talk was the beginning of what I seen something wasn't quite right. And I think it stemmed from the broken home, which I talk about for myself. And she comes from that as well. And then it's just every now and then this negative jab at me. So, and listening to what you said, where I have stated in the past that how I was categorized, when you're a big, tall guy going into a certain field, and I'm going to say, when I'm being looked at, when I'm in certain areas, that I just look like I'm a threat. And I've gotten pulled over a little too many times as far as I'm concerned. I got not rolled up to when I'm walking in a certain neighborhood and ask a question, what are you doing here? Where are you going? As if I didn't have any rights to be walking through. And see, this was back in the 70s. The Bloomfields, the West Oranges, not so much in North Irvington, East Orange. So that was pretty interesting to hear her say that.
Mm, okay. Is he ready?
Hmm. Hello, can you hear me, babe?
Yes, I can.
Hello?
We can hear you very
Okay.
loud.
Okay, very good. I'd like
You
to
got two
comment on
minutes.
what the commentator said, and in so many ways, she's right with a lot of things that she had diagnosed from what our past history was. But we're in a different age and a different era now, to where we have to basically unite and bring more so our thought and our educational status up, because we are never going to advance or even be considered people until we can truly show them that we have the same intelligent level as they have, because that's been their whole focus on life, is keeping us in a state to where, oh, the black man is not an intelligent individual. He's not an intelligent human being. He doesn't know how to do this. He doesn't know how to do that. But when we accomplish their goals, what the majority of the time they will try to do is, all right, we'll make up some kind of paperwork. We will try to manipulate this portion of it and that portion of it, and then say, okay, you have to learn this, even though you already know this and you know how to do it, but we want you to do our paperwork. Majority of young men are out here have an intelligent level to do almost anything, but so many of them have the intellect to do it, but not to, to say, hey, okay, I have to sit down and write down, okay, this what I have to do, this what I have to do, because we have never really been taught how to do paperwork in their manner. If you notice that the new math that they're coming out with, all it is a formula that they want you to understand, even though it is the same process that you're supposed to already know. But now they're trying to manipulate it into a formula. That way, oh, well, now the formula, how can I understand it if my father don't understand it, if my mother don't understand it? How can we as parents teach our sons, our daughters, everything about this when every day they're trying to manipulate it further and further in everybody's lives? And a lot of times people look at a lot of this situation and say, hey, why am I trying to? Why don't I just give on up? And that's the hardest part about what we have to accomplish. It's not giving up each time. We have to go to someone and start saying, hey, I need to know this. I need to learn this. I need somebody to just improvise and show me what I have to do to make this possible. And like I tell a lot of men, you have to sit down and you have to write, because that is going to be the main thing that they're going to look at is your paperwork. That's the one thing that they want to see is paperwork, that you can sit down and write it out, make sure that everything is what they want to see. They might not accept it, but they will look at it and say, okay, he does know it. So now we got to manipulate it another way. Is that my
All right,
time?
Dwayne, okay, sorry to cut you off, but we're doing time. Okay, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Is
Mhm.
he ready, Carmen?
Yeah.
Yeah, James, you ready to play?
Uh,
I'm
You
not
talking to
sure.
me?
Okay. All right. So, let's hear from DJ. Whoever wants to go first. I'm only seeing Jim Jackson on.
You-
What she talked about the music, like when you compared back to me back then, we had love music, right? It was all about the love, the bedroom music, baby making music, as they would call it, versus the music that we're hearing today.
Can, first of all, what I say is probably what everybody knows. It's like a general discussion on our music. Most of us know, and I don't know everything. I read, just like the gentleman said, Dwayne. I learn, I listen to people, all people. I read all people, and I try to get as much knowledge as I can. And that's important.
Can you
So
mute?
can you can you hear this song? Listen to this. Can you hear this? You can hear this. Everybody.
Yes.
Michael, can you hear it? All right. Okay, so that's that's one of my main men. One of my main men. And we a lot of people call him a prophet, but when I learned about Marley, the history that this man had in Jamaica before he came to America, before he went to England, struggle, struggle. But you know, that's that reggae music that was in Jamaica at the time and today, powerful, powerful stuff. So, you know, my summary is we all know it's a given where all of our music arrived. Africa. I'll mention Africa. All of our music arrived from that continent. Everything. So mostly Western and Central Africa. Our forefathers and sisters in that continent developed a musical style, a dance, a rhythm. That's where it started. Central Africa, Western Africa, and other parts. So when our people was taken from this continent, mostly Western Africa, our parents, we brought that custom and that tradition with us. When the men, the white men came from these different areas in Europe, England, France, Portugal, and came and stole our people away. They came to America. They came to at that time it was called the West Indies. And we were at their mercy. That's what we were always talking about. So, but when we came, we had our customs and we kept our customs. Our communication is very, very important. Music is one of them. And that's how we communicated in Africa and in the West Indies and in the East Indies and in America, South America, all over. So that music was very important. The rhythm, the communication that we had. One of them was the drum, the beat, the rhythm. When our foreparents in the Indies and in America were brought, we communicated with that drum. We knew about it, but the white man didn't know. So what did he do? He had to take it away from us. He banned us from using that. So what we did, we still communicated. We found a way to communicate with each other for our freedom, for our salvation. And the banjo, that's ours. That's all of ours. We brought it over here. And it was taken by a lot of other people and all this kind of stuff. But that's our instrument, basically. So all this, the musical custom that we did here in this country was banned. They tried, the oppressor attempted to ban all of us from our knowledge, which in a large extent he did. He did a good job on that. But we've gained, we're still here, we've learned. When we created our own music, and you may call it spiritual. It was something that we sang in this country back in the 15th, 16th century when we were brought over here. And it described our hardships that we had with our oppressor. Sun up and sun down, 24/7, whether it be in this or that island or this country, wherever. We were treated that way. We weren't even human. We were treated as not human. So we communicated with our spirituals. That's where this type of music evolved. And we were singing for our freedom. And if you know some of the songs, the gospel songs that we hear today, that words came from. We want to go. We want our peace. We want our freedom. We will travel. All these songs came. They started back then, and because of the oppressed that we were gotten from these people. So that's our music, and it developed. It developed, and then in this country, as time went on, the wars, the Civil War in the 1800s. After the Civil War, 1865, we were still here after all of that. So during the Reconstruction time, the struggle still did not end for us. Did nothing for us, even though the Emancipation Proclamation, all that stuff, we were still bound by this oppression. So we were still struggling. So another type of music came up from that struggle, the blues. The blues. It's our music. This is not their music. It's our music, and the blues is real. It's real, and this comes from our struggle. B.B. King, all these people, aside from him, many got, and most of them were in the south of this country, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina. You know, they struggled, and the blues came out. The blues came out, and that's our music. Okay, so you had we remained poor as a people. We remained poor, and we got the blues. So we had the banjo, we had the harmonica, and we was just singing about the blues. Singing about the blues, whatever you want to call it. That's what that. And it developed, and the times went on, and the times when we were still struggling, and then the blues came into jazz in the early 20th century. You know, early 1900s, jazz came out. South, New Orleans, a lot of it came from there. It was the jazz center of this country, coming from Africa and the Caribbean, and it came right to New Orleans, and you had jazz. They called it jazz. This kind of music that we had, and it started spreading in the 20s and the 30s. It spread into Chicago, to Detroit, as we migrated. Our people came from the South and came up to the North, migrated, looking to get away from this crap. And the music came, and in New York, and like I said, in Chicago, and different cities. Then you would have your Duke Ellington, your Count Basie, okay? All these different artists that picked up on this. Now this is all evolving. This is our music. We developed music, you know what I mean? So that's the great thing about it. And we were surviving. So you have your Louis Armstrong, Charlie Parker, all these guys and women. Ma Rainey, way back. Ma Rainey, Bessie Smith, from the South. And the film was on, what, a year or two ago about Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. You know, and that talked about her, how her blues and jazz evolved. So that went on, you know, and jazz affected the literary world, the world. So then you had your poets coming out of it, your music, your rock and roll coming out later on in the 60s, started coming up now from the 40s and the 50s. And you had rock and roll, you had your R&B, rhythm and blues. You had your doo-wop coming up now in the 50s, okay? And your soul in the mid 20th century. Now this was all evolving from what I talked about, okay? So the music played a crucial role in the spirits of African people. Music, you know, it cleansed our souls, okay? It allowed expression it allow us to express ourselves to oppose the unjust behavior that we were getting from these white people in this country. So that's our music. And we use that to express our soul music, whatever music it was, we used that. That was a big thing for us. So in the 60s, we developed that. In the 70s, okay, you got the emergence of hip hop. Now in the 70s, in the early 70s, hip hop started to grow. This music in New York, in the Bronx, okay? Some DJs made DJ Kool Herc, or one of the originators, if not the originator, of rapping over music at birthday parties in the Bronx. So this was starting to develop. And it was another expression that these people, that these rappers or singers were showing to people They were rapping and they were telling people what to do over lyrics. This was new. This was like, whoa, look at this, you know. So you out of that, and this is the early 70s. So as the 70s went on, you had DJ Kool Herc. Now he was born in Kingston, Jamaica. He came over here when he was a young child, 10, 11 years old, and he lived in the Bronx, okay? And his real name is Clive Campbell, it's his real name. So he spun records and he developed this new style. Everybody started picking up on it, you know? And then it went into, then you had, it went into Africa Bambaataa, Grandmaster Flash, all these guys started popping up because of this new music idiom, you know, hip hop, you know? And so it lasted, and it still lasts today. Mid 80s, early 90s, hip hop became official. You couldn't take it away. Mid 80s, early 90s, everything was hip hop, you know? So that was the big thing in this country back then. You know, Run DMC, LL Cool J, Public Enemy. These guys started coming, boy, and they were rapping, they were telling this story about our oppressment with this country, and that's music, that's the evolvement of it. And I'm gonna end with this. The hip hop was so strong that fashion came out of it, clothes, shoes, and everything. So this was a new genre for the 90s and up to today. And so, you know, music, the African community impacted every music genre in this country and around the world. We did that. So that's what it means to me. And at me as a DJ, I try to, when I play, I try to influence people with our humanity because it's important. And I try to use the music to wake people up, to enjoy themselves, to have a good time, but you know, to remember how it started, where we came from. So I'll play the Motown, and you know, I'll play the 60s and like Carmen said before, the 60s and stuff. You know, I got all that. I play all that stuff. I play 50s music. I'll go back to the doo-wop, you know, and it's all there. It's all there for us. So I end with that. I rest my case.
Thank you for sharing. We'll get a selection by Mr. Coward, and then we'll hear from DJ Strictly Noise.
One minute. Let me text him. 1 second. You know, I just have to say, music started for us from Africa, and there was always a message, a positive message sent from the drums, warning of the dangers that was coming to the villages, or a marriage or a birth. And then it evolved. And unfortunately, what I've noticed for the last 30 years is that music is being used to bash our Black women and girls. And it is our own culture doing it. And it is a message, but it's a message of degradation, insult, cursing people's mothers. What is the message here? And at what point do we take responsibility for that?
Sam Cooke. Man.
Just remember, darling, that I'm as near as your telephone.
Damn Cook,
If
Mr.
you
Soul.
need me, honey, all you got to do is to call me. Believe me, it's alright. Oh, it's alright. It's alright. It's alright, honey, it's alright.
Damn
Long
Cook.
as I know, long as I
Damn
know that
Cook.
you love me, baby,
Priceless.
it's
Priceless.
alright. Oh,
Priceless.
help me to tell her one more time. It's
You know,
alright. It's alright.
way ahead of his time.
It's alright.
And
It's alright, honey,
you have to learn about him. If we don't, we should know about him. But if you
Yeah.
don't, look him up because this man,
So,
too much.
Carmen, did you see what I just sent to you?
Yeah, I grew
So-
up,
No, did
I
you
grew
see?
up hearing that. Yeah.
Did you see what I sent to you to send to him? The music.
Oh, okay. Let me
Okay.
do.
Well, right. And
Okay.
Jim, when you talked about the music back then, that's how the slaves were able to communicate, so the oppressors didn't understand what they were talking about.
Right.
And because they were never between the music and the dance, they had that special code that
Right.
was on between them. But
Right.
also, as Dr. Reeves mentioned, in today, the music is used for our people against each other. And Carmen said, but it was $1, right? If you don't play that type of music, if you don't bash us, you don't get that record deal. So instead of, and nobody taught them,
About
right,
integrity.
before. So now anything goes. They appreciate it and they are accommodated because there's no way in the world I would be anywhere and listen to music calling us B and H and be able to be dancing to it. This is what our people are gravitating to. So that's why it's been done. Um, so can we hear from DJ Strictly Noise?
Listen to the conversations that's going on. And
You speak a little louder. We can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Oh,
you
it's
can't hear me. Can you hear me now? Loud and
alright.
clear.
It's
Wait. Can you hold the music for a minute, please?
alright. Honey, it's
Can you hear me now? Loud and clear.
alright. Long as I know that you
Can't hear
love
me.
me, honey,
Can you hear me now?
it's alright.
I was trying to get into. Okay,
It's
good. Yeah, can you? Yeah.
alright.
Howard, lower
It's
it down. I don't know if he could hear us.
alright. It's
Let me mute
And I,
him.
alright.
I'll mute him.
Honey,
Is that
it's
okay?
okay,
alright. Long as I know that you
but I'd
love
like him to
me,
replay that
baby,
though.
it's
Yeah.
alright.
Okay.
All my friends tell
I
me
can still
that you
hear him though. We can still
Yeah,
found
hear him.
I
somebody
can't
new.
mute him. 1 second.
They report to me
1 second.
every little thing that you do.
That's life.
But
That's
Lord, if you
technology.
tell me that it's all
Okay, sorry. Okay,
right.
You guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
All right. The discussion is amazing. Jim touched. I mean, he did a serious history lesson there on music. Um, with me, I'll be all over the place with this discussion, and I'm not going to stay long because um, from for a DJ aspect, I mean, not even a DJ aspect, as growing up and listening to music, the music has definitely changed. And I saw you guys touched on the content of the music, right? Content, I mean, it started changing like in the 80s, like late 80s, and video has a lot to do with it. And now, far more with social media and easy access to those videos. Um, it is actually, how should I say, it's trend setting, right? Because a lot of people believe what's in the videos, So we have these new artists, rap artists and stuff like, Lil Baby and all these guys. They just portray things that it may not seem to be the same thing in real life, right? And my daughter, she listens to, some of the video, some of the music she listens to. And I'm like, all he's talking about screwing women and this and that and blah, 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 blah. So it's really, and the women doesn't seem to mind. They don't seem to mind, right? Remember back in the day when I would go a party, right? And after they play certain fast music, right, in Trinidad and Tobago, I partied a lot when I was a teen. After they play certain type of music, we know slow music is coming up. So we know you're eyeing a girl and you're getting ready to go and dance with this girl and ask her to dance. In parties now, there's no slow music at all. There's no slow music at all. There's just fast music, right? So that's a difference from then to now, right? Besides degrading women, right? The way how they dress right now. I was watching a video, and in terms like Jamaicans, the way how they used to dance back in the day. Now I'm seeing they climbing up on ladders and jumping on women, right? That you could actually injure yourself. The last video I saw, they were on top of a house, and the girls were into it too. The girls were into it too, jumping on the guy crutch really hard. That could hurt him, right? So how is that a dance? Trying to hurt each other. How is that a dance? You know,
How is that culture?
how is that a dance? You know what I mean? Um, I deal with kids every day, and some will come up and I would ask, "Do you know who this Run DMC is?" They don't know. They don't know where it started. They don't know where certain things started. They don't know who you're talking about. Which is, at 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 that age, me at that age, if you asked me a certain person in the 50s, I would know. If you ask me, okay, well, Elvis Presley, who's a white guy, who they always play all the time, you see it on TV in Trinidad. He has a lot of Bing Crosby, all these guys I grew up on, because that's what you're seeing. That's what TTT will show you, right? I mean, I can't stand a musical, a musical movie, or I can't stand musical movies, but that's all they showed you back then. So I would, at that age, I would know, the people from the past with music, you know. Um, these guys, Sparrow, I'm talking about Caribbean now. I mean, calypso is another thing. Just like how jazz and all that stuff, calypso is a way of communicating also, right?
Correct.
What they would do is they would sing and it was social commentary. They would tell the audience news, right? Also, we had the drum thing too back in Trinidad. They banned the drums in Trinidad and we had to go to the tambu bamboo, right? With the tambu bamboo, right? After the tambu bamboo, that was coming to the birth of steel pan, the only instrument invented in the 20th century, right? The steel pan was through the tambu bamboo. They would turn to biscuit tins, right? The tins with the biscuit, they would play music with that. And then they would actually, then there's a lot of different people who they say invented steel pan, right? But it was invented through that. So because the drums were banned, that came steel pan, right? But um, come on, I grew up with Michael Jackson in the 80s, right? Music is, I hardly even listen to the radio. You know what I mean? I mean, I listen to soca music because that's my culture, right? So, and as a DJ, I listen. When I go to parties, right? If it's an American party, I have actually depends. If it's a youth party, I have to ask my daughter to get me songs. I download the songs and I go through them and see, and, the ones without. I mean, they bleep out the cursing, the clean ones. I don't do the dirty ones, right? So that's what I do. So the music changed a lot. It has changed a lot, and I am curious to see where it's going in the next 10 years or 20 years if I'm around. You understand? So rhythmic. Um, you playing Sam Cooke. You know, he was huge. He was huge, and I would listen to Sam Cooke. I actually do karaoke at my house. If in the back here we have and these are the songs we sing. we sing these songs. Well, try to sing, especially when you drink alcohol and you think you're the best singer. You think you're the best singer when you drink alcohol, right? So, but the music was sweet back then, right? Jazz, sweet. When last you hear, and jazz has changed also. I mean, the music has changed. Like, take for instance, I have a friend who's 80 years old, and he is a serious calypso lover. And he doesn't, the new songs that come out, which is soca. Now, soca is a mixture of soul and calypso, right? Uh, Soca is a faster version of calypso. And he doesn't like a lot of them. He's like, because he's old school. He wants to hear some nice rhythms, you know. And as I tell him, I said, the music nice. It changed. It changed into a different, it changed. And that's how all music from get go is going to be. It's going to change. It's up to you to like it. The youths like the new rap. They love it. And I'll be honest. I'm guilty. I love Pop Smoke. Some of these songs are really. Some of these songs are good. Some of these songs are good. You know.
That's all
Um,
they know. That's all
yeah.
they know.
Well, some of these songs, I listen to Hot 97 every morning. Sorry, I listen to Hot 97. So I'm a lover of music, right? Say for instance, the Spanish music has also changed a lot. I listen to Spanish music because my mom, she lived in Puerto Rico and she used to be playing Spanish music all the time. So if you come in my kitchen when I'm cooking, you'll hear Mega on and I'm listening to reggaeton and stuff like that. Now, check this out. I just saw a video just today, not even an hour ago, where reggaeton, right, came from Panama. And this guy actually did the evolution of reggaeton. I don't know if you guys know what reggaeton is. It's like reggae mixed with Spanish music. And it has this guy from Panama because a lot of Caribbean people went to Panama, Trinidadians, Jamaicans, to work the canal, the Panama Canal, and they stayed there. And this guy came up with reggaeton called El General, actually the general. And from, I don't even hear them mention him or playing his music on the station. What I listen to. So you see what's going on there? That's crazy. So they play the new reggaeton, which is a craze now. They play it all the time. They don't play the guy who started it. They don't really play him, right? But I know I'm rambling on and going in different genres and stuff, but the whole focus is how the music changed from when I was younger to now. And I'll add this: my daughter just went to a concert in New Jersey here, the NJ Park, right? Not NJ Park, the stadium where they play hockey, right? The $500 was for the ticket, 500. It started at 1,500. A Korean band. She doesn't even speak Korean. So and it was packed. If you see the amount of people, so that's a different. You're like, wow, this is the next thing that you're amazed with because they're from a different country and they have about 3 or 4 and they won Grammy awards too. They won Grammy awards, right? I saw them. One of the bands recently won a Grammy award or something like that. So that's amazing how they're impacting the American culture, right? How is that possible? You're like, wow, Korean.
Because
You
they're
know,
not cursing about anybody's mother. So
well,
they have to replace it. Sorry.
that,
Yeah.
well, we don't know what they're saying. They could be. I don't know.
No, my son listens to them. They're not cursing anybody's mother. Sorry.
Does he understand Korean?
Uh,
I'm sorry?
no,
Does he understand Korean?
no, actually, the closed caption.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, yeah,
Oh,
that's a technology.
this,
Technology is something else. It's
so
amazing. Go ahead.
I want to ask you.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. Wait, let me turn. Um. Okay. Okay. So Strictly Noise. I want to ask you, I always see the war now between Spice, you know who she is?
Yeah.
Jamaican artist and the dance hall. So they now is kind of like in the kind of conflict that the rappers are in conflict here now. So can you talk about that? Like the
Um,
different,
you know what? The wars have been going on a long time. You know, if you go back to Sting International and those shows, Ninja Man, Beanie Man, all these guys, Mad Cobra, all these guys back in the 90s. I mean, I was recently watching that on YouTube, the clashes, where they would go against each other, in fun. Sometimes it turns serious, you know. So in Jamaica, they have that war thing has been going on for since early 80s, say 90s, yeah, late 80s, early 90s. That has been going on, and those shows have been selling out, where they singing
yeah,
against each other, they singing
right,
battling
right.
each other, right? Because they have the
Yeah.
verses now. They have you ever have you seen a versus? You know what a versus is? All right,
But
this
I
guys
just,
came. These and that's to tell you how things COVID changed. You see how things are changing, right? Look how we are conversating right now in a Zoom, right? We couldn't be doing that maybe 5, 10 years ago, right?
correct,
We probably
correct.
be on a conference call or something like that, and we're not seeing each other. So there's this versus, and I recently see it so that these two the artists are going against each other. So I saw
Right,
Babyface, he went against somebody, I think one of these guys I saw Beanie Man went against another person. So you have Americans doing it, and you had rap guys doing it too. You have rap
right,
guys
right.
doing it too, right? And which was big. They had a lot of viewers, right?
Because
So it's
people like
battling.
that. People
Yeah,
like that conflict.
it's still going on. It's still going on,
Hmm,
you know,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, that's why I saw that. Okay, can we get some music? Our
Can
little
I hear you guys
intermission.
there? Or
Okay, okay. So when you gotta hold that thought, we're gonna hear some music.
okay, all right.
James, unmute yourself.
Hmm?
Okay.
Cool.
Good night to everyone. Hoping you guys can hear me. If you can hear me, just give me a thumbs up. As we get ready for the beautiful, beautiful day of Valentine's, I'm gonna serenade you with some beautiful music.
Oh, Donna, I love you. Oh, Donna, I need you. Please stay in my
Want to say goodnight to Spice Island Queen,
Oh, Donna,
DJ Strictly Noise. Good night to you. Jim Jackson. Good night.
I've never been untrue. I've never loved anyone but you. Please stay in my arms. Let them go
Sounds of Mr. Dobby Dobson.
if they want to. No matter what they say or do,
Good night to Love Carmen.
You're my love.
Dwayne Hines, good night to you.
You're the girl.
Classic music. As I always say, beautiful music for beautiful people. Brother Steve, good night to you.
Patiently. Listen to me. Stop it. Stop it. Calm down.
Nice and easy. Happy Valentine's Day, ladies.
You're my love. You're my angel.
Claudette, good night to you.
Of my dreams. And I would like to thank you for waiting patiently. Your daddy's home. Daddy's home to stay. How I've waited for this moment to be by your side. Your best friend Roland told me you've got teardrops in your eyes.
Good night to Michael and Stanley.
Daddy's home to stay. It wasn't on a Sunday, Monday and Tuesday went by. It wasn't on a Tuesday afternoon. All I could do was cry. But you made a promise that you treasure. I'm coming back home to you. How I waited for this moment.
It's all about the music. Are you ready? Ready?
You're listening to The Real Jay Nyce live.
What you trying to do to me, baby?
Good night to Shirley.
I told you once before.
Patricia, good night to you as well.
You're gonna lose a good thing.
Yeah,
but
baby.
I love you so much. But I'm trying to hold on and do everything I can. If you should lose me.
Oh, if you should lose me.
Oh, yeah.
You lose a good thing.
You lose a good thing. But I know if you should lose me. Oh yeah, you lose a good thing. You know I love you. I'll do anything for you, baby. But just don't mistreat me, and I'll be good to you. But if you should lose me, oh yeah, you lose a good thing. I'm giving you one more chance, baby.
Yvette, good night to you.
Right. If you only straighten up, baby, you know we'll have a good life. If you should lose,
If you should lose me.
me, oh yeah, you
lose a good
lose a
thing.
good thing.
classics. Taking you back home.
Stick by me, I'll stick by you.
Cheryl Lewis, good night to you.
Stick by me, I'll stick by you. Stick by me, I'll stick by you. My life on earth would be useless, can't you see? Oh, oh, if I didn't ask you to stick by me. I love you, darling, and that's no lie. Oh, oh, stick by me, I'll stick by you.
Oh, do you remember these tunes?
When you cry, I cry too. Oh, oh, stick by me, and I'll stick by you. Remember my heart and my love belong to you. Oh, oh, stick by me, I'll stick by you.
Beautiful music for beautiful people.
Friends may try to hurt us, scandalize our name. No one can tear us apart. You've got a place in my heart.
Oh, sweet memories.
Yeah, I love you, darling, and that's no lie. Oh, oh, stick by me. I'll stick
Here comes the memories. Here comes the memories.
Girl, you're little, but you talawa. Oh, God.
Yeah, baby.
Miss Wire West, you set my heart on fire. I said now, I saw you stepping from across the street. You're smiling happily with everyone you meet. Miss Wire West, girl, you're little but you irie. Oh yes, Miss Wire West, girl, you're little but you hold me. Believe me, I'm trying very hard to capture and control. I'll never stop until you're mine to have and hold. Miss Wire West, can I take you on a short walk? Oh yes, Miss Wire West.
You're allowed to dance in your chair. It's all right.
Can I give you a small talk? Miss Wire West, girl, you're little but you talawa. Oh yes, Miss Wire West, you set my heart on fire.
Come listen to me.
50 and over, these musics are for.
I made a discovery.
Grown and sexy only.
I wanna share it with you. I have you know that it's true. Multinational are really criminals. All forms of gambling
all the hungry bellies empty. Oh, check it out, check it out, check it out, check it out. Don't you know? Love that runs away from me, dreams that just nice and easy won't let me be, blues that keeps on bothering me, Mr. John Holt, chains that just won't set me free, so far away from you, so sweet and
You're listening to The Real Jay Nyce live.
Let those who have ears listen. DJ Jay Nyce is now in the building.
Away from me, dreams that just won't let me be, blues that keeps on bothering me, chains that just won't set me free, so far away from you, so sweet and warm, just out of reach of my two empty arms. Each night, nice and mellow, in dreams, I see your face. Memories time cannot erase. Then I awake and find you're gone. Then I'm so blue and all alone, so far away from you, so sweet and warm. Of my two empty arms. That lonesome, if I were a carpenter and you were a lady.
Listen, stop it, calm down.
Only the grown and sexy would understand. Beautiful music. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Would you marry me? If I were a miller and the mill should grind me, would you listen, lover man? Your soft shoe shine. Rock steady, baby. If a tinker were my trade, would you still find me? Happy Valentine's. Yes, I would. Come give me your tomorrow. If I were a carpenter and you were a lady, would you marry me anyway? Would you have my baby? If I were a carpenter. See my love through loneliness, see my love through sorrow. I'm giving you my onlyness. Come give me your tomorrow. Yes. Oh, baby. Oh, let me talk to my wife for just a second. Let me talk to my wife. Let me talk.
I'll never find the words, my love, to tell you
Listen,
how I feel,
stop it.
my love.
about the music. Are you ready?
Touching hearts and soul with beautiful music, that's what I do. Nice and easy, no rush, no fuss.
I'll never find the words, my love, to tell you how I feel, my love. Mere words could not explain. Precious love, you held my life within your hands, created everything I am, taught me how to live again. Only you care when I need a friend, believed in me through thick and thin. This song is for you, filled with gratitude and love. God bless you. You make me feel brand new. For God blessed me with you. You make me feel brand new. I sing this song for you.
Oh, you make me feel brand new.
Make me feel brand new.
Oh, beautiful music for beautiful people. Let's go.
I wanna be your cousin. I wanna hug you, please come over. I wanna hold you tight. I want do things just right.
Oh, how you feeling, Dwayne?
We'll never fuss, no even fight. No, no, no way. No way. No, no way. Let me be your Casanova.
Let me be your Casanova.
I will love you forever. Be my only precious treasure. I will never leave you lonely. No, no way, no way.
You wanna be my Casanova? Boy, you better work hard for you to be my lover. If you wanna be my number one, baby, that's no try. You can't be by my side.
Beautiful music.
I'm wondering what I should do with this feeling I have for you. You're driving me so insane and causing me so much pain. So much pain. Oh,
Let me be your Casanova.
I will love you forever. Be my only precious treasure. I will never leave you lonely. No, no way, no way.
Let me express myself to you. Allow me to express myself.
My heart is filled with so much love and someone I can call.
Listen to me. Stop it. Stop it. Calm down.
Just allow me to express myself. Let me put my feelings on the line.
My heart is filled with so much love for me. Someone I can call my own to fall in love. That's what everyone's dreaming of. Always feeling home, so sure life is too short to live alone when there's someone to call my
I will care for you.
I will care for you.
You will care for me.
You will care for me. Our love will live forever.
Yeah, baby.
Shower me with your love. Shower me with your love that I long for.
Shower me.
Shower